Yes. Do, do you think anybody actually listens to these set adrift chapters when I do them? Or do you think they actually just walk away and wait until I actually upload a real freaking chapter of the story? Trixie doesn't know. Well, I have an idea. We could test it. Test it how? Simple. I'm going to go on a long 5-minute political rant that'll be completely controversial. If anybody's paying attention, then we're about to get a slew of comments telling me how much I'm wrong. Wait, will that also ruin your subscription count? Nobody's probably listening. In the interest of fairness, and also in the interest of actually keeping my subscriber count, the following political rant has been deleted. Instead, we are going to play off this cute little image of a kitten purring. That was no kitten. That was, in fact, a little 5-year-old Blake playing with a ball of yarn. She was cute. And now, back to the end of your political rant. And that is why you shouldn't play around in the bushes. I don't think anybody paid attention to that, so let us begin with My Little Pirates, Zoros Adventures, Equestria. Let's move on. By Full Metal Pony. Who's a nice guy, really. Honest, he's a really nice guy. I just don't think he gets One Piece. Zoros' hooves echoed against the stone floor and reverberated off the ancient corridor. Each step kicked up a small cloud of dust that trailed behind him, slowly settling down more to a thick coat of debris that blanketed the ground. A glowing ball of light surrounded what appeared to be some sort of meat floated close to Zoros' mouth, steam escaping from it whenever he took a bite out of it. Turning around a corner, the hall's darkness gave way to a small garden nestled amongst the weathered walls that climbed up high up into the blue sky. To the east, the sun poked up under the ruined ramparts, bathing the courtyard in morning light. Marble legs, horns, and wings and body were strewn across the upkick gas, moss dotting most of them like battle wounds. Zoro trotted over to a large bust of a unicorn with only its top half sticking off the ground and reclined against it. He opened his mouth to take another bite of his meal, and when a cry drew his attention to the area of the hall he just left. Among the ruins of his main tower, multiple platforms jutted out to the side. Some hosted gargoyles, some held nothing but dust. The right one over the exit held Trixie. Even from the ground, Zoro could see her shaking. Trixie wants to get down, she whimpered. Zoro sighed. In a swift motion, he clasped one of his swords in between his teeth, slashed upwards, and resheathed it. A silence pervaded the courtyard for a moment before the platform gave a groan. Rock grating against rock. Trixie's eyes widened as the structure rumbled and sank in ends. She darted over to the tower and scrambled to grasp the wall, but the platform gave out beneath her before she could get a proper hold. She screamed as she tumbled down, but her cry was swallowed up by the great crash of the stone hitting the ground and setting up a large cloud of debris. Hacking, Trixie slowed off the stone and rolled over to the shattered rocks and came to the stop of the grass. Coat dirty, body pulled into a fetal position and shaking. She rocked back and forth. Charles took a step forward, and one of his hooves crunched and squished against the remains of his meal. Darn it! He kicked the meat away, its roasted wings catching the wind and extending out as it rolled across the grass. Sorrel drew close to Trixie and tapped her with the same hoof, now sticky and matted with dust. Oi! I'm getting tired of having to get you out of messes. Trixie sharpened her eyes and shot off like the ground, face pressing close to Zoro's. You think Trixie is happy with this? You think Trixie is satisfied with her performance in this whole entire fic? Do you know what she has been through? She has so far had the most pointless cameo in her whole entire life. Trixie swears her appearances in Mike and Fix add up to more than what she has done so far in this stupid story.
Oh, sure. Trixie had a chance to save Ace. And what does she get out of it?
Oh, she's not like other ponies. Oh no, she's greedy and evil and a complete monster.
Oh, no. Yeah, like a pony's never felt greed or rage before. Oh, no. So, Trixie gets turned into a monster. And what does Trixie do most of the time throughout the rest of this stupid fic? She cowers, she runs, she cries in fear. Trixie has had it! She has had enough! She has been dragged out, drugged down, and proceeded to be shat on throughout this whole entire story. Trixie does not have to take this. Trixie is out. Goodbye! You can mute all Trixie's dialogue for all she cares.
Whoa. Guys, I ain't never seen Trixie that mad before. I mean, just, whoa. Sorrel spun around and tried over to the courtyard's exit. Where in Tyrus do you think you're going? Trixie yelled. Trixie, get back here. I can't do your voice.
Trixie quits! She will join the other main six in doing her lines for Fall of Starfleet.
You made me drop my breakfast. Sorrel snorted. Now I've got to figure out a way to get out here again and get some food. Trixie scowled and did something to Zorro. She would do something to Zorro, but she's not here! He continued walking to the ruins, even when she was inches away from him. With a huff, she clasped the shafts around his neck. She froze when the damp fabric was smushed against her host, a few drops of red liquid streaming down her leg. Close up, she could see the scratches and deep puncture wounds that lined Zorro's body. You, she stuttered, host lying down and leaving a crystal stain on the ground. You've been fighting again! Trixie, I swear, I need you!
Why don't you just go get some pony from Ruby to help out?
I can't. Team Juniper is busy elsewhere. They're busy hosting a birthday party for Pyrrha. Well, and his force isn't exactly friendly, Zoro grumbled. Can't even get some apples without a bunch of pests taking it from you. He took a step forward, but Trixie rested in front of him. Move. Trixie shook her head. You need bandages. Oh no, Zoro moved back. The horse thing's bad enough. You're not turning me into a mummy again. Besides, what do you care? Trixie would rather deal with you than anything else here.
Okay, if you can't get anybody for Team Juniper, then how about a red versus blue cast member?
Fine. I'm going to grab somebody for red. I'm going to grab a couple of people for red versus blue and see how well they do your lines. Until then, you can.
What? The last Trixie checked. She is your boss. So she wants out of the story where she has been insulted every single 5 minutes. Then it's all up to you.
Oh, great. Okay, I can do this. I can find a pony to replace Trixie for this chapter and for the rest of the story. I'll just call up the red versus blue cast and maybe some other anime characters and see what happens. The sun was fully over the ruined walls when Zoro stepped down to a small patch of open land in front of them. The forest encroached on an ancient building from the sides, vines and moss, branches creeping over the weathered walls. Yet the area that led from the old structure to the rickety ridge was littered only with weeds and some blue flowers that kept across the city or spot. Scratching at the thick tatting of the azure around his neck, Zoro nodded. Sarge followed behind him, a few bruises running up his body. They slowly walked over to the bridge, but Sarge didn't continue onto it. Come on, Zoro said. I need to get breakfast and lunch.
Wesley knows that you acted like a fool when I tried to clean you up, then you just got lost trying to get us to the front of the castle.
I'm telling you, the halls move, Zoro replied. If you want to stay here, fine. I'll just be getting food for myself then.
Sarge!
She lowered her head.
Sarge can always find those carrots again.
Or you're gonna wind up on another lens. Zoro moved on to the bridge. Luckily, those weren't poisoned. Either way, I'm going to look for food and maybe I'll find a way out. Zoro tried to cross the old bridge. Its creaks mixing in with the distant calls of birds and rustling leaves. Sarge turned his head to the ground. Inspired the sight of his hoof and pausing to walk through the forest to look up at him with beady little yellow eyes. A shiver ran through him, and he gave chase to Zoro, undeterred by the bridge swaying back and forth in each step he took. You know, this is normally by this time in this fic where I would make a comment about the Tree of Harmony. This story doesn't deserve it. Griff and Zoro started out the train before them. Its bark twisted in jagged patterns all the way up to the tips of the branches. From its trunk to its limbs, the tree had an angular look that made it look like a loose orchard behind it all. It stuck out from the disorganization of the rest of the forest. A few crows flew overhead, squawking down at the pair, but never resting on the tree's branches or flinching in one of the multiple gray fruits that hung from it. Past the canopy of the pointing leaves, the sky was heavy with clouds. The morning light gone save for a small blue patch off to the horizon. A rumble from afar pulled the sunlight closer to accompany the low hum that permeated the orchard. Griff licked his lips as he pressed the hoof to his stomach, pushing down parts of his now fuzzy coat. Hey, are we going to be standing here gawking all day? He complained. Griff wants to get the food before it rains. Yeah, Zoro grumbled, making his way to the frontmost tree. Let's see. Horses? Furrowing his brow. He spun around, plunging his forehead to the ground. His swords clanked against each other, releasing a tiny blue sparks. He took a deep breath, quickly tugged in his hind legs, and sent them flying back into the tree's trunk. A coil of electricity shot down from the tree's branches and blasted Zoro backwards. It flew into the dirt and twisted as the lightning coursed through him, searing his sass and scenting his fur. Griff rushed over, but kept a safe distance until the sparks stopped popping off of him. The forest was silent for a moment before Zoro let out a grunt. Scraping against the ground, he wobbled to his hooves and ashes and scorched bits of cloth falling with him. He glared at the tree, electricity still pulsing around it, and then seized one of his swords. Wait! Griff yelled. Don't do anything! Zoro slashed in the air, a razor-like beam launching out of his sword careening into the tree. Lightning arced out of its great storm, tendrils flying into anything unfortunate to be nearby. Griff jumped back when a bolt launched inches from his hooves while Zoro remained motionless. Watching the miniaturized storm while the tree's wood cracked and splintered, it hit the ground with a great crash of thunder, releasing one final strike so massive that Griff was forced to shield his eyes as it came tumbling into the heavens. The thunderclap's echo was instantly swallowed by the harsh downpour of rain. With a swipe, Zoro flicked the wire from his sword and sent it back into its sheath. He turned his head and looked at Griff, who had fallen to the ground and gathered himself into a ball. Oi! You stop cowering now, he huffed. Spinning around, he trotted over to the felled tree, fresh stump crackling with energy. His fruit was scattered across the ground, a few gray orbs still attached to the branches. Zoro pulled out his scabbard and poked one of them. When nothing happened, he put his sword back and bent his head down, catching the fruit with his teeth. Instantly, volts coursed through his body, sending his coat straight up and causing smoke to billow out of his mouth. Shocked once more, he fell to the ground paralyzed. Picking himself off the ground, Griff walked over to Zoro, slicker squishy between her hoof. His torso slowly rose and fell as he let out a deep sigh. I hate lightning. Look, I'm tired, I'm hungry, and you didn't get me any food. So, Griff is just going to have to carry you, isn't he? A bolt of lightning came down on a nearby tree, followed by a deafening blow of thunder. Smaller tendrils of electricity poured down from the dark clouds, sending rings of plasma through the tree's trunks. Then, just as suddenly the storm began, the rain stopped. The clouds faded away and a rainbow ripped across the sky. Griff's eyes widened when the tree's fruit glowed with the same energy that ran through the rest of the orchard, and then a stripe of red appeared on them like the juiciest of apples, followed by a plethora of other colors until the fruits matched the rainbow in the sky. Where were the Timberwolves howling? Then, a prismatic light shot off from one fruit and lasted onto the other. From there to another fruit. The majestic display continued on until an entire forest was filled with color. The glow filled the entire sky. Pushing out the ground, Zoros stared up at the fruits, squinting up his eyes to assure that he had changed from round shape to a square one. I hate this forest, too.
But wait, these are sap apples,
Griff called out, a grin appearing on his face. Trixie stars. If we could figure out a way out of here, then we could sell them. Hey, Griff could even get a new cart. I'd rather just eat them now, said Zoro, glancing up at one of the tree's branches. Or do they still suck you? Who would want to eat that? Griff lit up his horn and gave one of the apples a tug, setting it down to his face. He bit down on its hue, only for his mane to stand straight up. Zoro grinned wickedly at him.
Shut up!
A buzz appeared on his face.
So they're a little more potent raw.
Griff, his face way more worse than Jelly Buzzers. At least it's edible now. Zoro sighed. Little Horn brought him an apple to his face. He sunk his teeth in, a shock running through his mouth like he touched a wool sweater, but it accompanied a sweet, savory taste. The flavor seemed to shift as he chewed on it, changing from the crispiness of apples to the juiciness of orange to the soft texture of melon, which seemed to transform his taste until he swallowed. Maybe I'll take some back with me. My captain could probably eat a whole forest of them.
What?
Griff huffed, tearing more fruit from their branches. Is your captain made out of lightning or something? Rubber, Zoro replied. Did be a guy made out of electricity, though. Did that count? The apples fell as Griff's grass and splashed onto the muddy earth. He gave his head a shake and went back to recollecting them. Your friends are all mad ponies. With 2 sacks, Caboose had seemingly produced out of thin air now, and several sap apples had balanced on their backs. He and Sorrel trotted back through the forest, the highest undamaged spires of ruins crested above the canopy, guiding the 2 ponies to their camp. Caboose marched ahead of the duo to ensure the ruins continued to serve that purpose. Sorrel said, maybe we could ferment a few of these. Caboose momentarily settled down to look back at him with a raised eyebrow.
You know how to make cider?
No, Sorrel sighed. That idiot cook could probably do it, though.
Is he insane like you?
Caboose clipped. Just an idiot. Couldn't make us food if there's a girl around.
Oh.
Small grain came to Caboose's face.
And why's that?
You'll always be serving them the best food and then give us scraps. Of course, my captain will eat all of that.
Sounds like your friend actually knows how to treat a mare.
Caboose mused.
Why couldn't he come here instead?
I wish he had.
Sorrel and Sansi ship confirmed?
Caboose slammed a hoof onto Zoro's chest, forcing some of the apples to tumble out of his pack into the patch of blue flowers in front of them. He glared at Trixie, but hissed from the ground to his eyes back to the apples. One started sending out electricity again. Another swelled in size still as big as Trixie. Many of them stayed the same, save for blue dots affecting their rinds like all the other fruits did until they exploded. Bits of apple flesh rained down on Zoro and Caboose, the latter gawking at display while the former shook his head.
Darn!
Caboose sighed. Darn. Zoro tilted his head at her. Oh, that's all you have to say after seeing fruit turn giant or explode? Have you been freaked out by anything else in this forest?
Yes, well,
Caboose turned his head to the ground, staring at the blue flowers walking their path.
Caboose has had experience with this plant. It causes all sorts of unspeakable things to happen to anything that touches it.
Oh, and what did it do to you? Trixie's face turned a bright red.
Caboose does not want to discuss it. Just be thankful we haven't seen any pine cones.
What? Did it turn into a pine cone or something? Did it make her addicted to pine cones? That's kind of lame. Shouldn't it make her invisible and mute? How exactly you know nothing else about this forest except this flower?
Oh, when Caboose was afflicted,
He sighed.
a kind zebra gave me the medicine required to alleviate my symptoms.
And this zebra. Sorrel paused a moment to shake his head. This zebra knows all about this forest?
It seemed that way. She even had a tiny hut.
Then why didn't we find her first? Zoro yelled, causing a few birds to fly up from the trees. Zoro opened his mouth to say more, but a rustle from nearby silenced him. A glow washed over two of his sword's hilts. A large paw with claws-like eyes appeared out of the bush. With a snarl, the beast's head pushed through the foliage like a mane with a great fire that spilled out from his face. It bared a multitude of fangs at Caboose and Zoro. The former bent into cowering. Stalking closer to the two of them, the rest of the creature came into view. Leathery rings pushed close to his side, and sharp curves highlighting portions of the beast's massive frame. A bulbous tail protruded from its back and ended with a stinger that glistened in the afternoon light. It restlessly swung back and forth through the air, while its owner glowered at Zoro and Caboose. Two of Zoro's swords slid out of their scabbards, floated by his head, pointed straight at the Manticore. Keeping his eyes on the beast, he bent down, chopped on the hilt of his final sword, biting down hard to keep the black blade in his grasp.
Go!
He ordered Caboose.
Wait a sec. Time out. Watto is white. Zoro always uses Watto in his mouth. When he uses two-sword style, he uses Watto plus another sword. When he uses one-sword style, he uses Watto. Watto is his primary sword. That's his baby. It's the sword that reminds him of Kuina. He would never use the black sword in his mouth. He would use Watto. Get your story straight.
Break. Caboose is to step back, drawing the Manticore's attention. Its wings shot out, it careened through the air, opening its jaws to bite down on Caboose. Cold steel met Fang instead. Zoro grunting as his aura around his blades flickered a little, trying to hold back the attack. Dirt rose up around his hose and he was forced back.
Get out of here!
He yelled. Caboose took off, a few apples falling from his pack. The Manticore growled at Zoro. Hot breath pounding his mane to his head. It jabbed his stinger down, Zoro jumping out of the way and a sharp tip burying itself into the ground. Out of the impact zone, the grass turned brown and flaked off into the air. A foul stench rose up from the earth, accompanying a purple haze that spilled out from the stinger. Sorry. Zoro positioned his sword to the side of his head again. We're not on the menu today. The Manticore crept up once more, this time keeping its wings folded, raised its right claw above its head, letting its weight and gravity handle the rest. Crossing down on Zoro, its claw presses up Kaitetsu, the dull end of the blade pressing up against Sushi's sharp side. Both of them struck furiously, and blood dripped down the former's metal. A second paw came down Zoro's right, with all the power spent on keeping the Manticore's claws from bearing down his face. Zoro didn't have time to shift Watto down to block the blow, and slammed to his side, ripping off parts of his bandages and leaving 3 red gashes across his torso. He flew out the ground, and the swords losing their glow and clattering to the earth. A tree ended his journey, wood shattering from the impact, followed by the trunk snapping and crashing to the ground. Hacking from the blow, Zoro struggled to his host. Shuichi a few inches in front of him now. He stumbled forward at the same time the Manticore bounded towards him.
Gotta get my sword!
Manticore raced down, raised his stinger to strike the final blow. A howl of pain forced it to an abrupt stop, and his paws became tangled in the undergrowth. Barreled down to the ground, rolling a hair's breadth away from Zoro, and tumbling off into the forest. His sharp yelp filled his ears, but quickly grew quieter. Huffing, he stared at the decimated area. Trixie was also gasping for air. Watto enveloped in an azure glow by her side. In front of her, the Manticore twitched around, stinger occasionally striking the dirt and killing all plant life nearby. Thanks, Zoro huffed.
I'm glad he was clear.
Caboose cut himself off, eyes wide at Zoro. What? Zoro took a step forward, feeling the undergrowth press his name. It sent a chill up them and through his whole body. Glancing down, he saw he was surrounded by blue flowers. Crap. It was raining again. Carolina sludged through the mud, legs half buried in the muck, and belly uniformly stained. Zoro rested on her back, taking slow, shallow breaths that passed by shivering lips that darted with azure spots. His legs and horn had grown similar complexions. Like the rest of his body, they were spotless and free of any blemishes. Rain beaded off of them and dripped to the ground rather than soaking his fur. Other than that, he was caked with mud like Trixie, with the distant area around his gashes being a rusty color that seeped down to Trixie's coat. Trixie's hoof caught in Carolina's hoof caught in a branch, and two went tumbling forward. Silts blurred out of the ground dirt farther around them. Carolina pounded against the moss and groaned. Zoro just lay on the ground glaring at Trixie. What? She said. Isn't it enough that I've been carrying your sorry flight to wherever Celestia Forsaken Zebra is? Behind you, Zoro croaked.
Oh. Like I said, maybe he got limbless, or maybe he lost all his teeth.
A slot spun. So Carolina spread around. Jagged rocks now rose out of the bog. Two of them glowed like lava and glared at Carolina. A stone that like the behemoth's form as elongated muzzle to its craggy tail. The creature jumped up and opened its mouth, revealing set of sculpted fangs that glistened like marble. Carolina sucked in her breath and snatched Zoro back onto her back and held him there with her magic. Behind her, trees snapped like dirt flew everywhere. A zillion hiss filled Carolina's ears, quickening her pace to a mad dash. A spot darkness appeared to her right as she darted towards it. She wedged herself and Zoro into a small opening, but the monster's teeth snagged Trixie and Carolina, pulled her back for a brief moment before its fangs rent her tail, shearing away her hair and leaving behind only a small tuft. Spinning it out, it eyed the two of them in the cave, hot breath filling the cavern with a dusty stench. It gave one final hiss, then backed away, sinking into the depths of the forest. Carolina's gasp and Zoro's small breaths echoed through the cave's walls. They didn't move for some time, the drip of rain and storm ringing in their ears. Eventually, Carolina managed to get back up on shaky hooves and glanced up at the mouth of the cave. In a heat of adrenaline, she hadn't noticed that it loomed a few feet over her head, even if it was level to the ground outside. The ground's rocks were around it were smooth and slick with water. Looking in the opposite direction, Carolina saw that the cave went back some way. Its air and working shrouded in darkness. A flash of lightning pushed back the shadows, revealing a glimmer deep within. Carolina gulped and sifted Zoro back onto her back. Shouldn't we be getting out of this cave? He huffed. Now that thing is out there.
Carolina can't even get out anyway. You could barely move.
Carolina sparked up her horn, bathing the cave in a soft light. The deeper they went in, the higher up the ceiling grew. Walls blew out its sides, making Carolina's spell seem like a tiny beacon. Taking bets there's something even worse in here. Zoro sighed. Shut up! Carolina chattered. We don't know that! She stopped while her hoof clicked against something. Her body seized up, went slowly from her eyes to the ground as it fell light. A goblet reflected a distorted image of herself and Zoro. Gritting her teeth, she slung a leg at it and set it into the darkness. A smell ringing across the cave. Stupid cave! Stupid monsters! Stupid! Carolina screamed. She heaved herself forward and went to her knees. Zoro slid off her back, aided only by his oily limbs, and sat in silence, while Carolina cried to the ground. She wailed and beat her heels against the stone.
Jeez, no wonder Trixie got out of this fic.
I know, Carolina, just keep the scene going.
Her horns glowed swiftly, ramping from aura to a tiny flicker. Soon, it completely sputtered out, and only Carolina's sobs remained in the dark.
Oi!
Zoro called out.
We can either sit here crying, or we can figure a way out.
There's no way out!
Carolina rasped. A rumble from the nearby silenced Trixie. A glow formed into the darkness, red and hellish, illuminating the piles upon piles of treasure that littered the back of the cave. The light also showed off the figure that rested at the top of them. 17 eyes danced with flames. Scales like emeralds scintillated in the blaze's light whenever it foomed down of a mouth to devour a pony in one bite. Most of the Goliath's body was steeped in cave's shadows, but the glare of metal around it found its way and fell into the cave, when that sense to still Trixie and Zoro, to still Carolina and Zoro's hearts. Vast claws sounded to the floor, shaking the entire cavern. Another claw came down, lifting its stalactites and sending it crashing to the ground. The great beast twisted its body towards Zoro and Carolina, and staked its head down towards them. Filling their vision with enormous fangs and burning eyes, acrid smoke flew out of its mouth and coated both of them in ash.
Ponies!
The dragon growled, its voice booming throughout the cave. Come to take my horn again. Come to dissolve my sleep.
Benedict Cumberbatch, how did we get enough money to afford him?
Oh, Trixie wouldn't answer, but she's not speaking to me right now. Run, Zoro ordered. Carolina wasn't listening. Her whole body was frozen, her eyes lights on the glow coming from the dragon's throat.
Hey!
Zoro yelled. Zoro glaring up at the dragon. His fist is starting to blur to the ground and grew slick from his wounds.
Yeah, you! You can keep your crappy treasure. We don't want it!
Lies. The dragon roared, smoke spewing out of his nostrils.
You will not!
His claw chose, but smoke still poured out of his nostrils. His eyes glowed in the dark, ruined place behind Zoro. The flapping wings entered the cave. Tiny dots of gold filled the air, piercing through the darkness to guard the dragon.
You.
The dragon snored.
I have not encroached upon your home. Why did you come here? To deal with the commotion that these two have been causing.
Its icy voice replied.
I think my preferred method is preferable to burning them, though.
Wait. Zoro gasped, vision quickly fading, limbs going numb. What are you? Something soft pressed against Zoro's body. His eyes flicked open, only to be filled with a brown blanket. He went pulling a hoof to grab them, but paused to stare at his leg. Gone were the azure dots that afflicted it before. Pressing his lips together, he realized they too were no longer slipped from the blue virus's poison. A glance down saw the fresh gauze cover his body, no longer wound up tight in rolls around his injuries, but in apparent strips that had a turquoise tint to them and felt cool against his skin. He reached up and pulled back the covers, the light from a fire forcing the blankets his eyes readjusted. He could finally see. He found himself in a dome-like room with shelves upon shelves of bottles and jugs and containers reaching up to the smoke hole in the ceiling. Tucked the fire in the center of the room sat a bowling cauldron with green bubbles flowing out of it and up through the roof. A zebra stood over the concoction with a spoon in her mouth. She seemed to be humming a deep chant, occasionally pausing to bring her spoon down into the mix and giving it a stir, temporarily turning it to vibrant horns. As if setting eyes on her, she set the spoon down after one last swirl and turned towards Zoro.
Long and harsh your sleep has been. It is good to see you awake again,
she said, drawing close to Zoro.
That's good and all, said Zoro. Last I checked, we were about to be the dragon's lunch. Where's the stage pony?
Sleeping in the room adjacent.
The zebra flashed with a small grin.
She has seen to grow less complacent.
Wait. Zoro placed a hoof to his head, recalling the last few conscious events.
How did we get here anyway?
Mostly through your little friend carrying you, once I got her to actually move. A voice called out. A white-brimmed black cat with blood-red underside entered the room first. The sight of it, coupled with the voice, sent chills down Zoro's spine. With yellow talons and black claws scraping the earth and floor. The hat's owner marched into the room, piercing golden eyes locked on Zoro. A small cross necklace swung and ruffled the white plumage around his neck. Upon his back sat a titanic sword, its jeweled hilt starting where his feathers turned to fur, and ascending down to run parallel with his curved beak and pointed moustache. Whoosh-dahs! 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 The sword's depth blade stretched the entirety of the rest of his body, running past his sharp wings while his tip hung over the tail, but just as sharp if it was only by a hair.
A dragon's den,
the griffin lamented. Was it not enough that your little light so attracted every denizen in the forest?
Hawkeye,
Zoro said, his muscles stiffening and a hoof instinctively grasping for his swords at his neck, even though they weren't there.
What is this?
An awfully elaborate joke on Kuma's part, it seems. The scowls grew deeper around his face. Or perhaps some last-minute scheme of his for your crew. Zoro's heart thumped loudly in his chest. What are you talking about? I suppose you have been out of the loop. Hawkeye raced back and pulled a newspaper from off his back, throwing it in Zoro's lap. The headline widened his eyes. First, he hadn't read the article, instead saw his attention down to the bandaged finger in the center of the paper. A straw hat was clasped to the young man's chest, and a small collection of flowers rested at his feet. Behind him, countless Marines had their swords and guns raised down, but they were held at bay by a bulky blue creature with the aspects of both human and fist, and a weathered man in a cloak as white as his hair.
Luffy.
Either your captain's tenacity or stupidity make yours look small in comparison. Hawkeye quipped. Zoro didn't reply to the backhanded comment, instead continued looking over the paper. The headline of the story continues on for multiple pages, many of them filled with various scenes of destruction, or with line posters displaying the increased bounties and new terrifying facts. His lips contorted, and his teeth gritted reading some of the account. But eventually he flipped back to the front page. I assume after all this, you want to go back to your crew still. You're welcome to try and follow me back to the port, but The path is even more perilous than the dangers you have already faced in the forest. I say you could stay here too, but we both know that's not going to happen. You're right. Zoro lowered his head, but his kid's eyes glaring up at Mihawk. That's why I want you to train me. You want to beg an enemy for an instruction? Mihawk scrunched up his face and scowled at Zoro. Have you lost all pride? I want to get stronger. Zoro shouted. Pathetic! Hawkeye began to turn away. You can't even call yourself a swordsman in your current state. Fully spun around and took a step to the right into the exit, but stopped when the tip of a black sword posted feathers. Floating in the air, it drifted alongside two other swords, all of them encased in a rippling green aura. With a raised brow, Hawkeye looked back to Zoro, aura rotating off his horn to his bare teeth. I am always a swordsman. He hopped, moving out of the bed onto the floor. He went to his knees and prostrated himself in front of Hawkeye, summoning his swords back to the scabbard over to his side. But I know I'll never reach my goal the way I am now. That's why I'm asking you to teach me what you know. Why? Hawkeye asked, raising his voice. To surpass you! Zoro yelled. Silence filled the room for a moment. Sakura quietly stepped down, leaving the two alone. They stared at each other down for a moment before Hawkeye's scowl was broken by a small grin. A chuckle escaped from his beak and erupted into a fit of laughter. You want me to teach you so you can one day take my head? Out of all the things in this land, you're easily the strangest. Then a few more chuckles before taking a deep breath, regaining his composure. And Arthur, I thought you prized pride over all else. And now I see there's something more valuable than that. Perhaps I was wrong about you living here. Shameless fools like you are plentiful, and even heroes are in this land. He spun around once more, making an uninhibited march towards the door. He glanced back at Zoro with his distinct eyes, sending a few goosebumps to Zoro's legs. When you are healed, return to the castle. There, your instructions shall begin. So, does Mihawk just, visit there once in a while? Does he walk by? Does he say hi? Vic, a little help? The lights in the tent dimmed, and the crowd sucked in their breath. Everyone, from grown men to little children, had wide smiles on their faces as they stared forward towards the darkened stage. Suddenly, a blue puff, a fume of azure smoke drifted outwards. It trailed through the wide air, and it reignited the lights of a spectrum of color, what cheesy shapes that ranged from a serpentine dragon to a raging bull.
Hey, Trixie! This author finally decided to give you some dignity! Are you sure it's dignity and not another, oh, Trixie's going to cry fest? Yeah, I think it's actually finally some dignity. Oh, Trixie's going to love to see this. Alright, he's coming back, but in Trixie Squares. One fit of unrelenting crying, and Trixie is out! O-U-T, out!
Finally, the smoke collapsed down, gaining speed and momentum, transforming a galloping mist that slammed back on the stage, sending a great blast of air that knocked a few people back from the front. Right at the end of the smoke, it collapsed down to Starstream Cape. A blue-skinned woman grabbed the brim of her head, flinging it across her chest. Bowing as the audience erupted a great cheer. With a smirk, she raised herself up, extending her arms to the crowd. Trixie! Trixie! They chanted.
What a grand audience today!
She said, voice resonating across the tent even without a microphone.
Trixie was concerned with sulking playing here as well, but what can one do? Magic waits for no one, especially not today.
A few hoots went up at her words.
Trixie does not call herself psychic, but on this day, a great foreboding rose up with her.
She raised up her hand. Light dimmed out as a blue glow swirled around, twisting into a large straw hat even bigger than Trixie's.
No doubt you've heard the rumors that Straw Hat Luffy, Phallus of Pirates, has returned to this very island, seeking out the worst of the worst to join his foul crew.
The audience grew silent at this. Trixie squashed her hand down, dissipating the illusory straw hat. Cold rays seeped out between her gloved fingers. In a flash, a shower of fiery petals exploded out from them, raining down on the crowd, making them cheer once more.
But even the coldest of creatures can't resist Trixie's spells.
Under her fans' roars, she marched back a few paces, so she dead stare on the stage. Raising her cloak, she produced a pair of thick handcuffs, floated in the air, so high everyone could see. More applause and shouts filled her ears.
Trixie sees you are familiar with these.
She brought the cuffs down and opened up one manacle. It closed around her left arm. At the same time, she summoned up a ball of flying to rotate it around her wrist, gaining speed until it resembled a comically oversized bracelet. It suddenly broke away from her and launched up to the peak of her tent, releasing a multi-hued firework.
It's so easy to pull off trickery in this world full of devil fruits users everywhere you look, she sighed. Trixie assures you that you all see, hear, and feel that her soul is the purest of all the mystic arts. Now, do we have any devil fruit users in the house today?
A shout leapt out of the crowd and bounded on the stage. In delight, the creature's scales scintillated a sickly green hue. Its slitted eyes scanned over Trixie with a little face as green. Then sent goosebumps to her arms. It stuck out a forked tongue in her direction, turning her stomach.
Suck on the viper, said Trixie. Shouldn't you be in one of your lower-numbered groves? See.
Asaka sat out his tongue, showing off his gaping mouth and fangs to the audience.
In a second, but this so sounded like a fun way to kick off my reign in the New World. Really?
Trixie droned.
Yeah, he said, rubbing his chin and leering at Trixie. But putting sea-soaked cuffs on a really big risk guy like me. So, how do we make this interesting? I know your whole routine of putting the cuffs on some fools, and then easily slipping out, while the other person has to wait while you tease them with a key. But I bet you I could get out faster than you. And what do you get if you win? You.
Sokka hissed.
And all your profits. It's all the treasure I could steal of an escape artist like you and my crew.
Don't do it! It's a trick.
He'll cheat.
Cheers like this and other criminal calls for Sokka to step down and rang throughout the crowd. Trixie raised her hand, and they all fell silent.
A pirate's life is even more dangerous than all the Trixie frees herself from here, she proclaimed. You're asking a lot out of Trixie. So since he's seeing you lose as he collects your bounty.
Canceling out through the crowd, Sokka stared blankly at her for a second before laughing again. She shot out an arm in her direction.
Not like that part's a secret either, you stupid bounty hunter.
He rattled his hand at her.
Now come on, let's see who a real escape artist is. Very well.
With a smile on her face, Trixie marched over to Sokka, playfully swinging the cuff around her wrist. An arm's length away from him, she looked in his reptilian eyes.
You do realize all your powers go away when I put this on you, correct? Oh, I'm well aware.
Sokka instant hand towards his belt.
That's why a hostage is much easier to deal with.
A dagger flashed out of his pocket, and it curved down at Trixie while the audience members screamed. Trixie remained rooted to the stage, her eyes wide and body shaking. Cackling like a madman, Sokka saw his blade down, aiming for her shoulder. It cleaved through her, sending a now translucent arm into the air, that quickly dissipated to nothing. Lunging forward, Sokka crashed to the ground, dagger skidding across the stage. He pushed against the floor to get back up. Possibly felt something cold affix itself to his hand. With a quaking breath, he looked down to see that the sea-soaked cuff was wrapped around his wrist. He gasped, his scales furrowing to pale flesh, while his fangs shrank in size. Humming his feet while trying to breathe, he managed to glare at Trixie standing over him, with a triumphant smirk on her face.
A shame. Trixie really would have liked to see how you would have escaped.
She raced forward, his slender glowing fist into Sokka's stomach. A shower of sparks and miniature fireworks erupted out of his back, while smoke spewed from his mouth. With a wheeze, he crumpled to the ground. More, the crowd was deafening. Trixie took a few bows and inhaled confetti, and even a few flowers.
Thank you, she said once the tears died about it. Trixie will be having the Marines handle him after this. Let's have another round of applause for Sokka the Viper! It's pirates like him, even their egos don't lay their bounties, that make this show possible. Now this Trixie can handle! Trixie likes this!
A wave of laughter went up through their tent. It quickly ended with Trixie floated Sokka off stage and resumed her stance at the center of the stage. She once more reached behind her back.
And now that we gotten the formalities out of the way, Trixie will now...
A tart to her right, the story tore apart. A multitude of unconscious Marine soldiers tumbled within, a variety of wounds marking their bodies. A crowd gasped at the sight, and even a few fainted when a man in a glowing red vest and straw hat swung into the stage, fighting a elongated limb.
Oh, maybe we can lose them if we hide in this crowd,
He called to the outside with a wide grin. Parts of the crowd were now fleeing outside the tent when at sight two other figures stepped on the stage. One was dressed in a fine-looking three-piece suit that caused him to shovel a hair of blonde hair that extended over his right eye and practically down his coarse goatee. The other was garbed in a deep green robe, a few shades darker than his hair, and held in place with red shafts. 3 swords dusted out of the fabric, making Trixie scowl at the owner.
You!
She stomped over to him, got over his face.
Trixie was hoping to have a nice goodbye since she planned for her show to be here, but you came along and scared off everyone.
She paused, knowing that the blonde was sniffing close to her. He glazed his eyes over her wide mouth. A real woman! He mused, thinking whiff of Trixie's scent, while a bit of blood dribbled out his nose.
Beast!
Trixie smacked a hand across his face, leaving a hoof mark rather than a palm print. Zoro gave a hearty laugh at that. Serves you right, you pervert cook. He chuckled while Sanji picked himself up. Besides. In a flash, he set down his sword, swinging it through Trixie's body, turning it to smoke. Feeling away, feeling a quivering pony in a rent hat. Did you really become this bad? He said with a wicked grin. You bastard! Sanji screamed, rushing over and grabbing a collar of Zoro's robe. Turning innocent girls into livestock! What sort of demon have you turned into? I don't need to hear that coming from you, number 7. Nobody cares about that! A bullet zooming in between Zoro and Sanji cut the lair off. The mill spun around, darted towards the tent's exit, grabbing Luffy and dragging it out of the way. Full volume! Marine cut ordered, just storming after them. However, when he pulled the triggers on their guns, only flowers had signs with the word bang scrawled on them. He glared over at Trixie, and flashed a mischievous smile, her human illusion back in place. Sorceress Trixie, the Lady Marine growled. Stand aside or you'll be charged with aiding pirates.
Very well.
Trixie threw her glowing hands down to the side.
But my show has already begun, and there's no way to stop it now.
What are you talking about? The Marine barked. Sarsels flared up, taking an all-too-familiar scent of gunpowder wafted from below the stage. Curls of multicolored smoke rose up between the forts. A few more cautious Marines took a step back. Thick? You messed up with this last part! Trixie jumped backward and floated up into the air, her whole body aglow now. Her form rippled and shuffled, a muzzle pushing out from her nose, closed hands running back her clothes. Her clothes melting into the blue fur returned to her pony form. Marines waved their weapons at her. You wanna know where you messed up?
This was more interesting than the whole entire Zoro part! The important rule of any performance,
she said once her transformation was complete. The magic around was concentrated into her back and exploded outwards to form sweeping gossamer wings, while the smoke was making some of the Marines cough. Some were abandoning their positions.
Always go out with a bang!
Retreat! The Marine leader screamed. She's going to! A great explosive color swallowed the rest of his order. Pieces of its head flew out in all directions, with a great rainbow cloud chimed upwards, passing the passive mass-grow trees and spreading out over multiple groves. The boom resounded in Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy's ears.
Oh, awesome!
Luffy cried out, twisting his head to get a good look at the grand explosion. Zoro smiled.
Was that who you trained with? Did you learn some awesome tricks like that? Can you juggle swords now?
Pay attention, getting back to the ship. Zoro sighed. He glanced back, watching the blue dot zoom off to the blast of one eye. He grinned a little. Stupid horse. Up above, Trixie hovered in the air, her mane cut wild now from the grand finale. She watched the 3 pirates from afar grow smaller.
Gruff, idiot.
Like I said, guys, is it kind of wrong that I would rather see more stories about Trixie being a bounty huntress that tricks people with magic than the rest of this whole entire freaking chapter?